Hey, it's Katie, and welcome back to my booktube channel. Today I will be doing Kiss, Marry, Cliff, which I have seen all over booktube for a long time now. I'm very excited because I feel like this would be perfect for the month of February with Valentine's Day coming up. But basically, I wrote down a bunch of guys from the books that I've read, and I wrote them on little slips of paper. I tried to pick ones that I really like in these books so that it'd be really hard for me to decide who I want to kiss, who I want to marry, and who I want to push off of a cliff. I'm wearing my Browns jersey because it is Super Bowl weekend, so not sure if any of you guys are also football fans, but it's the Kansas City Chiefs against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so let me know in the comments who you want to win if you care. If not, that's okay too. But let's just jump into the video. All right, so let's see who we get first. We have James from The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren. We have Peeta from The Hunger Games and Julian from Caraval. Oh, this is so hard. They're all so sweet. Like, The Hunger Games is a classic, but I haven't read it since, like, middle school, so I'm not as passionate about it as I used to be. So that makes it hard, but I know Peeta is so sweet. I feel like he would make a great husband. I like all these characters. I feel like none of them deserve to be pushed off of a cliff. It's not that James is, like, a bad guy or anything, but I think he's the one I'm the least passionate about. So I think I'd probably push him off of a cliff. And then between Peeta and Julian, I feel like Peeta would make the better husband. So I think I would probably marry him. And then Julian from Caraval, I think I would probably kiss him. All right, let's do the next round. We have Locke from Cruel Prince. I don't even know who else we're going to pick out, but I feel like I'm already going to push him off of a cliff. We have Jax from the Caraval series, who is kind of like a villainous character, but I loved his character in Caraval. And then Porter from Alex Approximately. Okay. This one's not as hard. Oh, wait. That is kind of hard, though. Okay. I think I'm going to push Locke off of a cliff. I've only read the first book in the Cruel Prince series, but I definitely despise him, so we're just gonna push him off of a cliff real quick. And like I said, I love Jax as a character, so I don't know. I was gonna say I would kiss him, but then I remembered that because of his, like, power or whatever, if you kissed him, a kiss from him could kill you. And I don't think that's worth the risk. So I guess I would marry Jax and try really hard to avoid kissing him. Just because he's such a cool character and I love how dynamic he is, but don't want to die. So we'll probably marry him and then kiss Porter from Alex Approximately. Because he kind of annoyed me at first, but at the end of the day, I feel like he turned out to be a good guy. Oh, also, I would love for you guys to put, like, number 1, 2, 3 for the rounds, and then let me know what you would do in these situations. That would be so much fun to see what you guys think. Next, we have Wes from 10 Blind Dates. We have the Darkling from Shadow and Bone. And we have Jem from the Infernal Devices. Oh, I love Jem. I am going to marry Jem. I feel like he is such a sweetheart. I was very torn between Will and Jem while reading The Infernal Devices. Like, I genuinely couldn't figure out who I wanted Tessa to pick, but Jem seems like the perfect husband. He's so sweet and so caring and loyal and, like, everything you could ever want. So I would definitely marry him. I really love the Darkling as a character, and I've only read Shadow and Bone in that series. I've only read the first book, so I don't know how he transforms as a character throughout the rest of the series. But as of the end of the book, I really didn't like him. I went back and forth with him as a character, but I feel like I kind of have to push him off a cliff. But also, like, he's super powerful, so he probably wouldn't die. He'd probably be fine. So I'd probably push him off a cliff. And then I would end up kissing Wes from 10 Blind Dates. We have Simon from The Mortal Instruments. We have Jack from Tweet Cute. And then Thomas from Stalking Jack the Ripper. Okay, just to preface this, I have not read the full Mortal Instruments series. I think I've definitely read the first 2 books and part of book 3. I don't know. I like Simon as a character, but I think he kind of annoyed me at first only because I wasn't shipping him with Clary. I wanted Jace to be with Clary. Thomas was cool. I wasn't sure if I could trust Thomas through a lot of Stalking Jack the Ripper, but I really liked his teamwork with Audrey. And then Jack from Tweet Cute, he was kind of mean to Pepper at first, but I loved their banter through all of their tweets and also their relationship in school. So, I don't know, he's pretty funny. I really don't have any good reason for it, but I think I'm going to push Simon off of a cliff. He's just the one that I kind of care about the least, probably because I only made it like part of the way through the Mortal Instruments series, but I'm going to push him off the cliff. Don't hate me. I feel like a lot of people really like him. But I think I would probably end up kissing Thomas from Stalking Jack the Ripper just because he seems pretty cool, but like I don't think I'd want to marry him. He thrives on like mysteries and he helps out in like the morgue with dead bodies, and I don't think I could marry somebody who does that, but I could, you know, he seems cool enough to kiss him once. And then I'd probably marry Jack from Tweet Cute because like I said, I love the banter. He's like super funny and creative, and he also ends up being really sweet, and he can cook. So I would marry him. Okay, the next round we have Dante from Caraval. Well, technically, I guess Legendary. It's the second book. We have Elias from An Ember in the Ashes. And then we have Rowan from Children of Blood and Bone. This isn't fair. I love all of them so much. Again, I have only read the first book in An Ember in the Ashes, so that probably affects my decision. I'm torn because Rowan is probably my favorite character out of the 3 that I just picked, but I don't know if he's really husband material, so I'm torn between if I want to just kiss him or if I want to marry him because, like I said, he's my favorite. And he has like a lot of good banter and everything with Zaylee. I really don't know. I really liked Dante in Legendary, but also I feel like you find out things about him at the end that he kept from Tella, and that kind of makes you want to push him off a cliff just for that. So I ship him with Tella, but I think I'm going to push him off a cliff because I don't know if I can trust him. I'm so torn between Elias and Rowan because I feel like Elias would probably make a better husband, but Rowan I feel like just has my heart. So I think I'll kiss Elias and marry Rowan. Okay. Let's pick our next 3. We have Miles from Even If the Sky Falls by Mia Garcia. We have Reed from Serpent and Dove. And we have Wrath from Kingdom of the Wicked. Oh, I love Wrath so much. I can't even remember who else I picked. I saw Wrath and I was like, yes, that's who I want to marry. Kingdom of the Wicked is probably my favorite book that I've read this year so far. It still consumes my thoughts even though I read it like pretty early on in January. So I think I'm just going to flat out marry Wrath. Actually, you know what? No, I take that back. I can't find where I just threw Wrath. But I think I'm going to end up kissing Wrath. I don't think I should marry him because, like I said, don't think I can trust him. I think I'm probably going to end up marrying Miles from Even If the Sky Falls because the book takes place in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. I love all the adventures he goes on with, I think her name's Julie. They go on amazing adventures. They live in the moment. They explore the city and have so much fun. And I would love to have adventures like that. I feel like that's so fun. So I feel like he'd help me live in the moment. So we're going to go with marrying Miles and pushing Reed off of a cliff. I haven't read Blood and Honey. I've just read Serpent and Dove. And I enjoyed the book, but I had a really hard time liking Reed as a person. So we're just going to push him off a cliff. We only have a couple more rounds left, I think. So let's see who we get. We have Selwyn from Legendborn. I don't know if that's how you say his name. They just called him Sel in the book, so I'm just going to call him Sel. We have Nick from Legendborn. That's funny. And Miles from Prince Charming by Rachel Hawkins. I don't know why, but I kind of have like an urge to push Nick off a cliff. He's not a bad guy, but I think because I ship Bree from Legendborn with Cell instead of Nick, it makes me just kind of want to like get rid of him. Miles is very sweet, and he had some moments where he was a little bit mean to our main character. I can't remember her name right now. I know she had bright red hair, but that's all I can remember about her. He was like a tiny bit mean, but like he had his reasons, and he ended up really taking care of her and being really sweet. And then we have Cell, who was obviously a huge jerk to Bree at the beginning, but I loved how much he developed throughout the book, and he ended up, you know, just being very hurt by his past and turning into a much sweeter person around her. So I don't know. I think I'd probably kiss Cell from Legendborn because he's kind of an unpredictable person, but I feel like I could kiss him. And then Miles is really sweet, and I loved seeing him in Prince Charming. He's a very refreshing character, so I'll probably marry him. All right, we only have a couple left. We have Enon from Children of Blood and Bone, Roma from These Violent Delights, and Jace from The Mortal Instruments. I'm going to push Enon off of a cliff. This one's not that hard for me. I think part of it is that I ship Zaylee with Rowan, which I've said earlier, but another part of it is that, you know, the whole book is based, you know, there's like this moral compass that you have when you're reading this book, and how easily he murders people and all of that. If you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. I can't explain it, but just the way he goes along with that and can justify what he's doing is just not okay. And there is like character development, and that's great, but I feel like that's a crappy start. So we're just gonna get rid of him. There's nothing really wrong with Roma. I just didn't really connect with him in These Violent Delights. So I feel like I'd probably just end up kissing him because I don't really have a connection to him. But I loved Jace in The Mortal Instruments. I know he was like really mean in the beginning, but like most bad boys are, and I'm a sucker for a bad boy in any book that I read. So I'd probably end up marrying him. All right, this is the last one. Let's see who we have. Prince Cardan from The Cruel Prince. We have Will from The Infernal Devices, and Jest from Heartless. I loved Jest. I kind of keep forgetting I read Heartless because I think it was an audiobook I listened to last year, but it surprised me by how much I loved it and how much I cared about Jest and the other characters. I think I would probably marry Will just because, like I said earlier, I was torn between Will and Jem. I just loved both of them so much, and at the end of the day, he was really sweet and he really cared about Tessa, and also he's like super snarky and sassy, and I think that's fun. So we're gonna marry Will. I think I'm gonna push Prince Cardan off a cliff. He had a lot of character development throughout the book, but he was a very big bully at the beginning, and I just really hated him. Like, he was so mean to Jude, and I'm glad that, you know, he showed a lot of character growth, but I think just because of that, I have to push him off of a cliff. I think he'd be fine. I think he'd find a way out of it. I don't want to kill the guy. I don't think I could kiss him, at least from how I felt from book one. So I'd probably kiss Jest from Heartless. All right, so that's all I have for you guys with Kiss, Marry, Cliff. Like I said earlier, please let me know in the comments who you would choose to kiss, marry, and push off a cliff from these combinations. I would love to see what you guys think. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and also make sure to click the notification bell so you know when I upload next. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in my next video.